Welcome back to the Cultivating Gratitude journey. We are on day 18, and today is all about life's redirections. Redirections mean multiple things. They can be both literal and energetic. Literally, like traffic detours, you go into the store and they don't have the item you went for, right? Those kind of things, but also loss, failure, any kind of relationship issues, financial struggles, those kind of things we feel like are kind of like life's ultimate redirections at times. So we're trying to find gratitude in the struggles, the removements, the redirections. And I just want to preface this video by saying again that you don't have to be grateful for anything. We are not going for the Pollyanna type of toxic positivity, toxic gratitude with this topic. I'll be throwing out a lot of different ways life redirects us, and sometimes we may not be able to find gratitude, especially in the moment, but maybe looking back decades or years later, you might be able to find a nugget of gratitude. But again, this is not a topic we want to force any gratitude in, but let me just get started with a few kind of examples to show you what I'm going for with the redirection. Now, obviously, we could start with just basic setbacks, failures in life. Failures can be a valuable learning experience that may offer some insight or growth. Now, whether, again, that's immediate or over time, you might be able to find gratitude in any kind of failure. Mistakes are learning opportunities, ultimately. I know I'm not a fan of rejection, at least I spent quite a few decades being fearful of it, working through my own fears, but at the end of the day, mistakes can be like a stepping stone to something new, something different, something that completely changed your life. We have to try things as human beings, even if it's just a creative project, a work project, trying to figure out our purpose in life. The goal is to try a bunch of different things, and sometimes they don't work out, right? That's life. Now we can try to find gratitude in the growth and the experience, in our new revelations, but sometimes those kind of mistakes, there's really nothing to be grateful for at the moment. Now, moving on to just basic mistakes, we have loss and grief. That is like the ultimate redirection. It's not just losing like an item you have, or a favorite thing, favorite piece of clothing or anything, if you've moved and accidentally lost it behind, but we're talking about people. There's a lot of grief and a lot of loss. That is the human life. It can be very difficult to find positives at all in the loss of a human being, especially if it's your own child, a family member. I'll tell you a little bit about me, but my grandma died when I was like 7, 8 years old, and now I'm 37 going on 38, so that's 30 years or 3 decades that I almost spent like being really mad at God for it, and it kind of changed my whole life, because looking back, she was my protector. She lived with us. My parents didn't really allow myself to express my emotions. I love my parents, but looking back, they may not have wanted kids, and so here I am still. But when my grandma died, and long story short, I also found her body, but she had a heart attack. She was 89 years old, but she was a really devout Roman Catholic, like always praying. Had her rosary beads every day. I went to church with her a lot, and when she was gone, it really changed my whole life. And that's why I really want to stress that there is no, we don't want to focus on toxic gratitude here, especially if you're dealing with the loss of a close family member, or albeit your own kid. I've lost my fur kids, and that's as close as I could feel. But I know it's not the same as losing a human child. So if you've gone through that and you're dealing with the grief for a lifetime, for depending on the type of loss, And even after 30 years, like I said, I don't know what to be grateful for besides thinking back and just try to show gratitude for who she was and how I was as a child. But, spending 30 years almost being mad at God and finally coming to terms with that's something different. It's not gratitude. It's a sense of forgiveness, but it's there. And again, we don't want to force gratitude. I'm just sharing that story to tell you I really don't have anything to share for gratitude there. I can be grateful for the experiences we had, and even then that's like surface level, and that's okay. We could focus on gratitude elsewhere, especially when it comes to loss and grief. But there's other challenges we can go through, very life transitions. Not just from moving from a new place, out of your home or whatever, like your childhood home. That can be pretty traumatic. But maybe you've changed a career. You've had to change it, especially since 2020. We've all been kind of shook up and realized that things are not permanent, especially in the workforce. Even if you've spent your entire lifetime building something, it can be taken away, whether that is from just life or another human being, a company, whatever. It's an ultimate life redirection, career-wise. And relationship changes. What about divorce? Even just breakups. They're all very traumatic, depending on how invested you are. Even, a short relationship over a few weeks can be pretty gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. And it can change your whole direction of life, especially if you started making plans with another person and trying to reschedule your life and trying to work together with someone else, and then it could fall apart. And at the end of the day, we may not know why. We don't know why the universe broke us up or shifted us out of that career, made us move across the world, across the country. But try to find some sort of gratitude, maybe down the line if you're looking back. Maybe there was a blessing in disguise there. Maybe there was a silver lining. Maybe that's exactly what needed to happen to just get you from where you thought you should be in life to where you will actually thrive in life. And again, not every breakup or loss or transition is going to be positive. You may have a lot of anger, you may have a lot of hate, and you may not be able to find that little nugget of gratitude, and that is perfectly okay. Human beings, we go through things. Life is about struggle. Life, not all the time, but there are struggles that we go through with these transitions. And, if you're not there and you have nothing to be grateful again for, then don't. There's nothing to be grateful for. We don't want to force anything here. Especially when it comes to health issues, that's a life redirection. Even in the face of health challenges, there could be a silver lining coming through something. But again, you may be like, why me? Why did I go through that? Why did I have to go through that? Especially if it's not something you would consider your fault, and that life just happens to us. So trying to find any kind of gratitude in health struggles, changes in body physicality and function. There's a lot of emotion there. I know, I'm sure you've all noticed that my face is not symmetrical anymore. I think it used to be, but in 2014, I guess, it was the left side of my face completely numbed out. It wasn't a stroke, nothing drooped, it actually got tighter and moved up. I couldn't speak out of the left side of my mouth. My eye wouldn't close, my left eye wouldn't close for quite a while, and it's been almost 10 years, and I've, with exercises, I'm getting it as close as symmetrical as possible. But, I've had to deal with personal feelings about my appearance and rejection sensitivity issues when meeting new people and relationships. And I don't know what to be grateful for. I'm a beautiful girl, I've come to terms with that, but, honestly, as being human, I notice it still every day, and sometimes I'm still like, why? I treated it as a spiritual awakening thing at the time. It really taught me a lot of things. I can be grateful for that. But also, I'm human. I still kind of like why, and not so happy about it sometimes. But that is my journey in loving myself. With health issues, you may find some sort of new love for yourself and new gratitude for who you are now versus who you were then. Again, it may not happen right away. It may take years to decades and maybe never happen, and that's okay. If this is your gratitude journey and you're thinking about your health issues, there may not be anything to be grateful for right now. So again, don't force it. We're not Pollyanna here. We're not going to fake gratitude. So these are just ideas to kind of throw out, thinking about the ultimate life redirections. And health and body issues are one of the big ones. Now we can also kind of go through unexpected events. Like I said, life happens. There could be new conflicts, new struggles. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you lost your career. Maybe now you lost all your family. That's unexpectedly. And maybe they're still alive, but you're just in isolation right now. You're living your life and you don't have your usual support system. Anything unexpected can kind of give us a lot of emotions, and completely shift our reality, shift our mindset, shift our perception. And there may not be anything to be grateful for when it comes to unexpected events until you go down the line and maybe look back. And like when my grandma died, it's been 3 decades since I can kind of come to terms with that. So we're not going to rush anything again. But life will always redirect us, whether we consciously do it ourselves or maybe our, higher self, spirit guides, even just maybe there's no reason why. Just that life happens and we can experience huge amounts of change. We can also go through educational challenges, legal issues, natural disasters, those kind of things, whether, again, human related or nature related, universe related, or just really no reason why any of these things happen, can all throw us for a loop, quote unquote, in life. Trying to pick out gratitude in any kind of legal issues, I'm not sure, especially if you didn't win your legal battle. You may have to do some soul searching. And again, there may not be any reason why that happened to you, and just that life is life, and you'll have to find gratitude in another area of your life. Going back to parenting, there's parenting challenges. I don't have a human child, but at least I've kind of, what I've observed and learned on my own is people, no matter how well you are, your child is an individual. They're going to grow up to be their own people, no matter what you do sometimes at the end of the day. And there's got to be some sort of grace that allows them to grow into their own human while also trying to teach them everything that you learned. But, there's parenting challenges out there. You can expand on your conflicts in your own relationships, even if it's not a parent-child relationship. Maybe it's with your own parent and you're the child. What kind of differing opinions do you have? And did any of those cause you to, live 2 different lives when you were at adulthood? My home life was a little tumultuous, so when I was 22, even though I was living at home trying to go to college, I just kind of stopped all that. I needed to get out. Because that was also when my mom told my dad that she never loved him, blah, 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 and wanted a divorce. Because they just stayed together for the kids, which doesn't really work, by the way. At least that's my personal opinion. Because kids know. My mom and dad slept in separate bedrooms. They blamed each other's snoring habits for that. But even as a young child to early 20s, it's something else is going on. One person's story is not matching up to perception. And so that was an ultimate life redirection, just being I can't live in this area anymore, this space. I didn't really know my family, the whole lie lies for pretty much my whole life, my whole childhood. Felt like a lie at that point, so it changed my trajectory in my life for sure. I don't know who I'd be if I had stayed at home and stayed close to home, but I moved several states away and started a whole new life, and that's how I kind of found my spiritual sense and how I came to light language eventually. So I don't know if I would have been here today if I had stayed at home in my early 20s. So again, like any kind of relationship issues you have, you may want to reflect on how that's redirected your life. And if you can find gratitude for that. I mean, I'm very grateful. I've come to a very new perspective of my family. I love them as human beings. My mom and I are improving our relationship every day from then to now. But, you know, I would have a completely different life. I acknowledge that. I would be a completely different person if I didn't leave that situation, go through more quote-unquote hellish adventures, a lot more struggles, a lot more loss than I ever thought about I would experience in life. And again, it's many years later, almost decades later, that I can look back and find gratitude in those kind of redirections in life. So this is just kind of a small snippet of just trying to find gratitude in struggles. Life happens. Some things are just horrible. I'll put it out there, and there's really no thing to be grateful for. So again, we don't want to force gratitude. We're not cultivating toxic gratitude, toxic positivity here. But we do, if you can find some sort of blessing in disguise, a silver lining, a growth, what did that person teach you? What did that loss teach you? What did that job teach you that no longer exists? But you've taken those lessons and new perspectives with you onto your next adventure, and it's made that even better somehow. Again, is there gratitude in just experiencing love, even if it's fleeting, no matter how fleeting it is, how short it is, or even getting to the end of your lifetime and your soulmate of 50, 60 years, they've moved on and you're still here. Can you find gratitude in that? And you don't have to. Remember, there's nothing we have to do. There's no shoulds here. We're all human beings. We all process our emotions, our loss, our changes. A lot of emotions come up with change and redirections, like not just crying sadness, but anger, rage, even disbelief, a lot of grief, surprise, shock, like all sorts of emotions come up, and they can follow us throughout life. Even if we feel like we've gotten okay with a certain situation, a new situation can just bring back some of those memories, some of that loss, some of that change, and it's the human experience to try to figure out how to be okay with that in the new moment. And I don't have all the answers for you, besides that we're all individuals, and we do have to come to terms with ourselves at the end of the day. And there's only one person in the world that can get okay with the situation, and that is us, however that means to you. And whether you go to therapy or just talk it out with yourself for life, read a bunch of books, watch a bunch of other people going through their stories, trying to figure out how to be okay with yourself and your life and everything that's happened. It's up to us at the end of the day, and that can also lead to a lot of anger and sadness and frustration, even whether it's at the world or God or other human beings, and just how life is set up currently. So it's just one of those things. I know this is a heavy topic, and just from the minute things of having our favorite muffin being sold out when we expected to have it on our way, maybe it's our birthday, we really wanted something like a treat that's usually always there, and just today it's not. Like, why did that happen? Why do we lose our favorite person? Why do we lose our favorite job? Why do we lose something? And we're shoved into this other path of life. Just something to start thinking about. I know it may not be an expansion grid type of exercise, but can you find gratitude in any of your redirections? Whether it's a financial struggle, a work struggle, relationship struggles, redirections, health issues, the ultimate loss, or any just basic mistake, growth period that you've gone through, trying new things in life, trying to do something, trying to figure out who you are, and it just seems to just keep redirecting you to somewhere else and you don't know why yet. But looking back, this may be one of the things where you have to really reflect on your past. But can you find any kind of nugget of gratitude in your experience in life? And again, life is life. I'll leave it at that. But just try not to give yourself a hard time. That's another key too. And again, you don't have to show gratitude. You should not have to do anything in life. If this is not the type of gratitude that we can cultivate at this moment, that's perfect, because we can cultivate gratitude for other things. But I just wanted to throw this out there, as I know that life happens and life redirects us all, and it may be hard, honestly, to find gratitude for some of these things. But just keep being you, try to find what works for you, and don't force it, but explore this on your own time. It may not be today, but I just wanted to plant the seed that, there may be some sort of silver lining or blessing in there, in how life happens. I love you guys, sending you so much love, and I'll see you tomorrow.